It was just past midnight when Sarah Reyes, a 27-year-old graphic designer, stepped into her new apartment building on the Lower East Side. The move from her small town in Oregon had been overwhelming. The towering buildings, the constant noise, and the endless anonymity of New York were as exciting as they were isolating. She was finally starting fresh. New city, new job, and a new apartment on the 6th floor of an old pre-war building. Apartment 6A. The rent was suspiciously low for Manhattan, but it was spacious. Too spacious for the price. The only catch? The landlord said not to disturb the tenant in 6B. When she asked why, the landlord, a jittery man with nicotine-stained fingers, gave her a look she couldn't quite place. Pity, maybe, or fear. "She doesn't like visitors," he mumbled. "Best to just leave her be." Sarah assumed she was just an old, cranky shut-in. Nothing unusual for a city like this. But that night, as she was brushing her teeth, she heard it. Whistling. A slow, tuneless whistle echoing through the walls. It wasn't loud, but it was deliberate, as if someone was standing just outside her door. She paused, waited, listened. It stopped. When she opened the door to check the hallway, it was empty. The next evening, she bumped into a little girl playing with a red ball on the hallway floor. She looked no older than 7. Pale skin, unblinking eyes. She didn't say anything, just pointed to apartment 6B. "She's listening," the girl said. "Don't whistle back." "What?" But before Sarah could ask anything else, the girl picked up her ball and walked down the stairs. There were no children on the 6th floor. In fact, most of the apartments were empty, still under renovation. That night, the whistling returned. Only this time, it was louder, slower, almost melodic now, like a lullaby played backwards. It started at midnight and lasted exactly 6 minutes. 12 a.m. to 12:06 a.m. every night. Sarah started recording it. Her friends thought it was a prank, but when she played the video, there was no sound. Every recording was silent. No whistle, no background noise, nothing. One night she tried to hum the same tune, out loud, jokingly mocking the creepy melody, and the whistling stopped immediately. Then, a knock on her door. 3 knocks, slow, heavy, deliberate. She didn't open it. She started asking around the building. The maintenance guy, Tony, turned pale when she mentioned apartment 6B. "You're still there?" he whispered. "I thought they locked that place down." "Why? What's in there?" He wouldn't say much, just that tenants in 6A never stayed long. The longest anyone lasted was 3 weeks. Sarah was already on week 2. Out of curiosity, she went to the city archives. Apartment 6B had a long history of missing persons reports. Tenants would disappear without a trace. Some moved out suddenly, others simply vanished. One case from 1983 mentioned the same thing Sarah was now hearing: whistling at midnight. One night, fueled by fear and curiosity, Sarah crept out into the hallway at 11:59 p.m. and stood in front of 6B. The hallway light flickered. As the clock struck midnight, the whistling started again, this time from behind the door. She pressed her ear against it. The whistle wasn't random anymore. It was a pattern, like it was calling out to her, inviting her. She placed her hand on the doorknob. It was ice cold. Suddenly, the little red ball rolled to her feet again. She turned. The little girl was standing at the end of the hallway. "Don't go in." That was the final straw. She decided to break in. The next day, she borrowed a lockpick set from a sketchy friend. At 3 p.m., broad daylight, she broke into 6B. What she found made her stomach drop. The apartment was empty. No furniture, no signs of life. But the walls, they were covered in writing. Scratched into the plaster were names. Hundreds of them, all in long, spiraling circles. In the center of the largest spiral was a phrase. I whistled back. The air grew cold. The light dimmed. She turned around and saw herself, standing in the mirror across the room, smiling even though she wasn't smiling. Then the mirror cracked, and the whistling started. Since entering 6B, Sarah hadn't been the same. Her reflection sometimes didn't match her movements. She lost time, hours at a stretch. One morning, she woke up outside, barefoot, with dirt under her fingernails and a bloodied hand. No memory. She played back her security cam footage. At 12:06 a.m., every night, she would walk to the center of her living room, face the wall, and whistle. It wasn't her voice, it was deeper.
Like something was using her as a speaker.
And always behind her, just in the shadow, was a dark silhouette, tall and featureless, just watching. She confronted the landlord. I know what's in 6B, she snapped. His expression didn't change. You shouldn't have gone in, he said. She likes attention. Once you hear her song, she's in you. She? Who is she? He didn't answer, just handed her an old photo, faded and yellowed. A black and white picture of a woman with hollow eyes. Below it, a caption. Eleanor Brandt, the Midnight Whistler. Died 1923. Body never recovered. Sarah planned to leave the next morning. But that night, the whistling didn't stop at 12:06. It kept going. 12:10, 12:30, 1 a.m., and it was louder now. It came from every wall, every outlet. The mirror cracked wide open, splitting across like a spider web. Then she heard something new. Humming. A second voice. Hers. Her body moved on its own. She whistled back. The lights exploded. The room plunged into darkness, and in the mirror she saw herself again. But her eyes were black, hollow, and she was smiling wider than any human could. A month later, a new tenant moved into 6A. A cheerful college student named Ben. The landlord handed him the keys and smiled nervously. Only rule, he said, don't disturb the neighbor in 6B. That night, at midnight, Ben heard it, whistling, faint, slow, right outside his door. He opened it. The hallway was empty, except for a little red ball sitting at his feet.